One evening, Gabriel came up to me. I was washing dishes and he said, "Mom, I feel like I have a bruise on my leg." And it was swollen near his knee area on his femur. "Okay, well, let's take you into the doctor tomorrow morning." She said, "Your son has characteristics of bone cancer and there's a bed ready for him at Children's Hospital and you need to take your son there right away." From that moment on, everything was a whirlwind.
And I had to, accept the fact that I may be losing a son.
Gabriel ended up being diagnosed with osteosarcoma there at Children's Hospital. He went through a series of surgeries. One of the main surgery was to perform a limb salvage surgery in which they tried to save his limb. His body did not take that surgery, so he ended up with an amputation, did chemotherapy, and we were referred to a clinic to get his prosthetic after chemotherapy was done.
My wife was a teacher of a group of young people. Gabe Oropeza was one of the children.
It came time for him to need a second prosthetic because he grew out of the first one. But then he went through a growth spurt, and in 4 months, he needed another prosthetic. And our insurance covers one prosthetic a year. And so financially, we just couldn't afford to have another socket.
And we were going to the Shriners Hospital for an event and then suggest to him that maybe Gabe would be a good candidate.
Telling Paul about the sled hockey and how he was a part of it and how he made the team. That's when the subject of his prosthetic leg came up, and next thing I know, he called me back telling me that some people were very generous enough to kind of just look at our situation. Someone called me from Shriners Hospital.
And that he felt that Shriners could really benefit Gabriel.
Well, Shriners have a big commitment in children. It started out as Shriners Hospitals for Crippled Children, and that was during the polio era. We have some 22 hospitals now.
When Gabriel and his family were having trouble finding funding for a new prosthesis to replace the one that he had that didn't fit well, they were referred here.
We treat the children regardless of the ability to pay.
I saw him in clinic and did an assessment, and also recognized that he needed a different prosthesis. So I referred him to our wonderful prosthetics and orthotics department.
I'll take a couple steps. So it feels a little tall? Okay.
Right now I'm just going to make sure all the parts are tight and in good shape.
Does it still feel tall? Okay, it's going to feel less tall the more you walk on it. I think your other one was really short. That's why this feels tall. Because it doesn't look tall.
He's a bright kid with a bright future, and we're just really happy to be able to participate in his care and help him along to reach his goals.
It is very hard as a family to go through this, but while going through this, we supported each other as much as we could. Not only Gabriel needed to be strong, but our family, to be able to keep our foundation together, needed to be strong and to be able to help our brother out.
My name's Gabriel. I do sled hockey, kind of soccer, and karate. Sled hockey, it's really fun because I get to knock into people. Karate is just fun because I get to grapple, and that's fun because I get to roll on the floor and roughhouse without getting told not to.
On behalf of the Oropeza family, I'd like to thank you. Thank you for your generosity, the time and effort spent in finding ways to make things a little bit easier, not only for our family, but for Gabriel and really to Shriners for really stepping up and working with my boy.
Thank you to Paul Donaldson and Citizens Bank for their support for our family. We're so grateful for Shriners and their beautiful facility. They're amazing people to work with and to be with, and we're grateful to both of them for helping our son out.